Hello book lovers, and welcome back or welcome to Nat Cat's Bookish Cafe. Today I am here to start off a new reading slash travel vlog. Alright guys, so I think I've mentioned this in a couple videos, at the very least my last TBR video, that I am heading to Germany for about 2.5 weeks. So you've probably seen a bit of a gap in my content. I have no idea when any of these vlogs are coming out, but today is July 17th. It is exactly 10 a.m. in the morning. Our flight doesn't leave until 4. So I've just spent this morning getting ready and doing some last minute packing, but I just wanted to go ahead and jump in here and kind of let you know what's up. So today we are heading up to SeaTac and jumping on an airplane to, I believe, Frankfurt, and it'll be about 11 hours long. So we'll show up there around, I think it's supposed to be around noon in Germany, and they're about 9 hours ahead of where I am currently living. So it's going to be a bit of an adjustment for me, but I am very excited. We are staying there until August 2nd, and I'm going to try and do about 3 vlogs. The last one might be a little bit shorter since it's not a full week that I'm there, but we'll see how that goes. I don't want these vlogs to get like ridiculously long or anything like that, but depending on what we're doing there, it may still get ridiculously long. But I just wanted to jump in real quick and kind of let you know what my reading plans are. As far as what I'm bringing with me, I am bringing 2 physical books with me. I'm not going to really talk about them now. I don't know when I'm going to get around to reading them. But I will of course let you know about them once I do pick them up. I am also bringing my Kindle, and I did get KU for the month. The first book I'll be reading is Psycho by Onley James. Unfortunately, when I got KU, I realized that this series was no longer available on there, but that's okay. I still have other books that I want to read that are on KU, and I did end up buying Psycho since I did enjoy the first book, Unhinged, and want to continue with the series. This should be the first book that I'm picking up today at the airport on the airplane, and it is a part of a series where we are following a group of brothers who were all adopted by an eccentric billionaire. This billionaire adopted a bunch of boys that were diagnosed as sociopaths or psychopaths and trained them to be kind of vigilantes rather than just straight up serial killers. These are dark romances, and they are all male-male romances. So we're following one of the brothers. I feel like I want to, his name is Andre? Or is it Andrew? It's hard because all the brothers have A names, so I always get them mixed up. So we're following A, the dude, and he is a professor at a school, and he is also a serial killer. The love interest is someone who has like clairvoyant abilities, and he used to work for the FBI. Whenever he kind of touches someone, he's able to see things that he usually shouldn't be able to see, like if they committed a murder. And after he touches one of his co-workers, he sees that that co-worker is a killer, and he tries to tell people, but they all think he's kind of crazy. And now that co-worker is trying to hunt him down because he knows he's a killer. So he ends up kind of leaving the FBI and going to teach at this university. And obviously when he touches our main character, he realizes that he is a killer as well. But our main character has developed an obsession with this man, and is hoping to protect him from the other killer while also kind of trying to let him know that not all killing is bad. So I really enjoyed the first book. I had a lot of fun with it. And I'm hoping that I really enjoyed this one. I heard someone say that this one is their favorite, so I'm very optimistic. All right, and one more thing before I go, I have a little bit of a book haul. I think one of the last videos that I posted was a pretty big book haul, at least a big book haul by my standards. And at the end of that video, I was kind of like, all right, I'm not really gonna do any more book shopping unless I continue a series kind of situation. And then Amazon Prime Day happened and their deals were actually relatively good. So I ended up picking up 4 books, 3 romances, and then a picture book that I fell in love with the second that I saw it. So I figured I'd just quickly go through those. The first one is Before I Let You Go by Kennedy Ryan. This is an author I have heard relatively good things about, but I haven't read any of her books. I think she has some like sports romance and some Hollywood stuff, which are tropes that I'm not overly drawn to, but this one is honestly kind of giving me 7 Days in June by Tia Williams vibes. So I'm really hoping that I enjoy this book. I believe it's a couple who have children, or at least one child together, and something kind of traumatic happens and it causes them to decide to go their separate ways, but they're still co-parenting and gradually start to kind of rekindle that relationship. So we kind of have a second chance romance situation, and I'm really hoping that this is going to be a really deep and emotional read. The next 2 books are definitely books that I got because of the hype. These are 2 authors and 2 books that I see all the time on Instagram, and I would say TikTok, but I'm not on TikTok, but I think some of those TikTok videos make their way over to Instagram. And the first one is going to be A Twisted Love by Anna Huan. And this is an author who I think this series is completed and is now coming out with a new series that's kind of like based off the 7 Deadly Sins. So I'm definitely intrigued by her work, and I'm hoping that I enjoy it so I can continue to check out her stuff. I have to admit, I don't know what this book is about, like at all. It's a contemporary romance and that's all I know, and considering it's just a like contemporary romance, I'm not gonna look too much into what it's about. So I'm just gonna go in with my eyes closed and hopefully I enjoy it like everyone else does. The other book is The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. I just really love these covers. They're giving kind of like blueprint vibes, and I just love to look at them. This is also a contemporary romance, and I believe it's supposed to have kind of like Disneyland vibes, where we have 3 sons of the owner of this multi-billion-dollar kind of entertainment park, and their father or grandfather has passed away and left certain achievements that they have to make before they get their inheritance. And I want to say in the first one he needs to like create a new add-on to the park to kind of like stimulate his creative side or something like that. And obviously they all get help from women who they end up falling in love with. So I definitely hope that I like this series. I've heard nothing but good things about it, and that's so cute, little roller coasters on the chapter headers. So I'm optimistic. I'm, you know, trying not to be one of those people who avoids hyped books. I mean, I've definitely been burned by hyped books, but I'm trying to like get over that. I think The Cruel Prince kind of traumatized me, and I'm getting over that trauma now by buying these well-beloved heterosexual romances. All right, and the third and final one was a cover buy. I never do cover buys, but I figure if it's a picture book, then a cover by is okay because you want to like the art. And that is a ghost who was a quilt, and I just absolutely love the colors, like that everything is black, gray, and white except for like the bright blues of the checkers on his quilt, or their quilt. I don't know if this is a little boy or a little girl. And pretty much this is a little ghost, and they are the only one that is a quilt. Everyone else is a sheet and they're just kind of flying around and floating around. But for them, you know, doing that is very difficult because their quilt is heavier and they get hot really fast because it's thicker material. But I believe we follow this little ghost on Halloween, and something happens that they kind of show that they can do something that no one else can do. And I'm assuming that this is going to be a book about, you know, differences and accepting your differences and seeing the positives of having people who have something else to bring to the table. So I'm very excited to see. I really like these colors, and it's like a really nice quality book as well. I think I got this for only like $11, which picture books are like really expensive. Now that my cousin has like little kids and I want to buy them books, I'm like, damn, like how are you $20 and you have like little tiny pictures and like 3 words per page? I guess that's why a lot of people go into making kids books, because you can just like make a ton of money with like, I don't want to say like no work, because like obviously some of them definitely have a lot of work in them, but there's other ones where you're kind of like, I don't think that took like a ton of effort, which I'm sorry if that's a bad thing to say, but it's how I feel. But with this one, definitely worth, even if it was full price at $20, you could just tell by the quality of the book that it's really well done. So that is my haul. I have some last minute things I need to do. We are planning on leaving at around 11, so in a little less than an hour. And the next time I check in with you will probably be in Germany. So I'll see you on the other side.
falling to pieces in my room. Are you coming over? That's cool. I could use a little something to do. We could go outside, take a little ride if you want to. That's cool. I did what I was supposed to. There's nothing left for me to do. So now I'm poking out my head through open windows. 'Cause that's what I feel like. Do it tonight. Waking up my brain. Maybe you can do the same thing. You want me to say something? I come up with nothing. Maybe we can talk until we figure out a topic. Been so long in my head, caught up in my feelings. I've been waiting for something new to happen. And when it happens, I'll be dancing on the lawn when it happens. When it happens, I'll be dancing on the lawn when it happens. You want me to say something? I come up with nothing. Maybe we can.
Hello everybody, I am finally checking in with you. I really hope that it's not too loud out here, and of course, like as soon as I get out here it has started raining, so I'm gonna make this relatively quick. I just wanted to check in with you guys. It is the day after we arrived and is like pouring. I'm gonna get so wet, oh my gosh. Anyway, I just finished a book, an audio book, Only When It's Us, and I can't remember the name of the author now, but I'll just pop up a picture here real quick. I just finished that audio book. It was, I guess, is it considered a sports romance? I don't think it's considered a sports romance because the sport isn't like, I don't know what makes something a sports romance, but the characters play sports, at least one of them does. And so we're following Willow and Ryder is hearing impaired. He got sick when I think he was like 19 or so and ended up losing the majority of his hearing, and it is about a relationship between the two of them. Since I just finished it, I don't know quite what I'm going to rate it yet. But I think it'll either be a 3.5 or a 4-star. I did really enjoy certain aspects of it. Oh, the hour bell is clinging. I really enjoyed aspects of it, and other parts of it either got a little bit annoying or were just too much on the cheesy side. I think that, you know, it's just something that happens when you're reading a book that has a decent amount of like humor and banter in it. So it is what it is. I will say that I did get emotional with this book a couple times. Our main female character, Willow, her mother is battling cancer, and that obviously is always emotional to read, especially for someone who's very close to their mother. So did enjoy the way that that was done. I will say that the majority of the emotional parts happened while I was on the airplane, because I listened to this a little bit on the airplane, and I was already kind of half asleep, so I didn't feel like I got the full impact of those scenes, but they still definitely had me tearing up despite that. So those were well done. I also really enjoyed the smut scenes, so those were well done, and I just thought the couple was just so sweet. Oh my gosh, what was that? Did you see that? I don't know what that was. Okay, it was either a really big squirrel or something else. Anyway, so yeah, I just wanted to let you know that I went ahead and finally finished an audiobook, because I've really been dragging my feet on those recently, but it is done. The other thing I want to check in with you is Psycho. When I got onto the airplane, I really thought that I would finish like at least one book, and I ended up not finishing any. In fact, I think I got just barely 50% through Psycho by Onley James, and I'm currently about 64% through this book. This is a book I already told you about. I would say I am enjoying it. I feel like I'm not enjoying it as much as I did with book one, and the rain is picking up, so I'm talking louder in hopes that you can still hear me over the sound of it. But yeah, anyway, I'm not enjoying it quite as much as book one. I just wonder with like books like these if the first one just kind of catches your attention more, because it was my first time reading a psychopath romance, so it was all kind of new and shiny to me, and now I have since already done it. I'm still enjoying it. I really like both of the characters. I really love their connection. August, the psychopath, I think is like really sweet. He is trying very hard to be a thunderstorm. Okay, guys, I need to like call my mom to see if she can pick me up. Otherwise, I'm gonna be like a drowned sewer rat. So next time I check in with you, it might be at the hotel later tonight. Alright guys, so I am at my grandma's, and as you can tell, like all my baby curls because my hair got all wet, so just ignore my halo of hair that is just out of control right now. But I have no idea where I left off because it's been over an hour or so. I was soaking wet. Like I had to wash my clothes just in case, you know, because when it rains, the rainwater's not like super clean because of the air pollution and all that jazz. So luckily I had brought an extra dress with me from the hotel just in case what I was wearing got too hot, or in this case, too wet. But I was talking about Psycho, and I think I was saying that I was having a good time, not as good as I was having with book one, just because some of the novelty of the situation had worn off. But I do really enjoy the characters. Both of them are super sweet, which you would not expect from like a dark romance, but they really are, especially August, who is the psychopath. He also has autism, and so he is just studying so hard. He's a professor. He has like a eidetic memory, is that what they call it, when like he can memorize like every single conversation, everything he's ever read. He can like read super fast, so he's like reading all these relationship books because he's like, I want to be perfect for what my partner needs, and it's just such a cute time, honestly. As always, trigger warnings for these books. I feel like the killing aspect isn't too terrible. Like there was one murder scene where August went and killed a person, you know, he was like just slit their throat, and it was like not a big deal or whatever. But usually because they're vigilante characters, they're hunting someone who's bad. In this case, it's always a very real issue, but especially in the US, it seems that there's someone who's going after vulnerable women, and I think they were primarily focusing on Indigenous women. I don't know if they kind of changed their MO since they've moved locations, because they're kind of chasing Lucas, our love interest or other main character. But yeah, so just trigger warnings for the death and torture of vulnerable women, of vulnerable populations, Indigenous women, sex workers, probably runaways, things like that. I think the romance between the two of them, once again, it's insta lust, it's insta obsession kind of situation. So if you like slow burns, do not read these books, because none of them are that. Well, I mean, I haven't read the other ones, but I'm assuming for the most part that they're all going to be pretty insta obsession situations. And with these books, I do really enjoy that aspect of the story. Lucas, I think, is a really interesting character. He was an FBI agent. He had a lot of respect for the FBI and what he did, but the FBI very much turned their back on him after he tried to tell them that one of their members was a serial killer and actually put him into a psych ward for quite a while. So he's definitely not very happy with them and has now kind of fallen in love with a psychopath. So his moral code has definitely changed and is continuing to go from white to gray to darker gray throughout this story, which is kind of something we saw in book one as well with the love interest, where you kind of see people like, yeah, bad things are happening, to going like, I can make those bad things happen and I'm the one who judges if they should happen, and that's okay. So we kind of like the creation of morally gray characters. But I think that's all I have to say on it. The smut aspect is still good, just like with book one. I think that this one has a bit of a more, well, I'm trying to remember the first one because I haven't read it since January. That one might have had a little bit of a BDSM situation going on as well with bondage. And I think this one has a slight BDSM vibe. I wouldn't say it's anything like super crazy. It's just that all the characters are willing to incorporate aspects of bondage or pain play into their sex lives situations. So that is a good time. Where I'm at right now, the serial killer is very much playing with Lucas, while the FBI did not believe Lucas's like clairvoyant abilities, the psychopath very much does, or the serial killer very much does believe him. So he like leaves him objects where he like, when he's holding the objects, he like thinks about him murdering and killing these girls. So when Lucas touches these objects, he experiences the pain and suffering of those girls. So it's pretty intense. This book, I would say, is almost a little bit more intense than book one. But I don't know. Book one dealt with child sex trafficking, so it's kind of hard to beat that. That's one of like the worst things that could happen. Yeah, so far I'm having a good time. I have not been reading a lot. I am so tired. I hope what I'm saying in this video makes a lick of sense, because it's only our second day here and there's a pretty big time difference, 9 hours, and it's just kicking my butt. I don't know if my dark circles look like intense or something, but I am tired. Like last night, I kept waking up like every 2 hours because I think my body kept being like, I don't think we're supposed to be asleep right now. I mean, I know we're tired, but like, I think we're supposed to wake up. And I was like, go stay asleep. I'm so tired right now. And then I think we woke up like a little before 6. And that's fine because other than the massive rainstorm we just had, Germany has been relatively warm. So we want to be up and early doing stuff. We saw the castle, as you saw, and I will have put the name of the castle in there because I'm forgetting it. Johannesburg? Was it the castle of Johannesburg? I don't even remember. I'm so terrible at names. But that was really nice. So I don't really know what we're doing tomorrow, but today's the 18th, and I believe we're staying with my grandma until the 21st, and then we're heading to Frankfurt, and we're going to be staying with my step grandma for a few days, and then I think we're coming back here maybe for the last couple days or so, and then we're traveling home, and my grandma's coming with us, and she'll be in America with us for 2 months, if not more. But yes, I think that is my update for now. I'm going to try and get a little bit more reading done. Like I said, it's been a lot slower than I was hoping, but this jet lag is kicking my butt. It's kicking it pretty good. And also my anxiety has been kind of high, probably because when I was flying, I got the timing on my meds all weird, and then lack of sleep, and it's just a shit show kind of situation, you know, a domino effect. But I felt better this morning, and though I kind of crashed this afternoon, I am hoping that by day like 4 or 5 that I'll be in good shape again, and I will hopefully get more fun b-roll for you guys, and I will keep you up to date with my reading.
So far away. Last night was one big holiday. Cool winds on me out by the shade. Put my weekend on layaway. I don't know where I'm going. 2 days, one big commotion. I'm being carried by the wake. I need your soothing motion. Please help me take the pain away. No way to change our yesterday. No way to change our yesterday. The view, she could see her building. Try to tell her I know I feel it. Keep me floating, I'm on my back. Slow me down when I'm living fast. You make me wanna be with somebody, doing things that I usually don't.
So today is the 21st. It is Friday, so this is technically gonna be the last day of this vlog. I'm filming it outside and there's like a street right there, so I'm hoping that there isn't too much background noise and that you can actually hear me. But I just wanted to check in, which I haven't been doing a lot. I was kind of worried that these vlogs would be really long, but I also like always overestimated how much I would read. Like I actually thought that there was a possibility that I read like 2 to 3 books on the plane. Like who did I think I was? But yesterday I did end up finishing Psycho by Onley James, and I ended up giving this a 3.5 star. I did kind of want to just say that I think this book got a little bit of a bad hand dealt to it because I was suffering very heavily from jet lag, and also because of the time changes and kind of the changes to my usual schedule. When I was taking my medication was also off, and it was causing me to have more anxiety. Like unfortunately yesterday I had like a panic attack in public, which is always kind of like an embarrassing experience, but luckily, now that I know that I need to be very on top of my meds, that will get better. And I'm sorry there's so much cutting off. It's that time of day where a lot of people are going to work, and the public transportation system is in full swing, and the buses are just louder than a regular car. So I keep trying to like cut out every time they come by, but they're coming by like all the time. So what can I say? Germany's public transportation system is a lot better than America's, which is a good thing unless you're trying to film and the buses are loud. I just wanted to say that my mental health and even physical health has been a little wobbly these last few days while I was reading it, which is why I was reading it so slowly. The only time I really had time to read was at night, and by then I was ready for bed. I was so ready to fall asleep, and in the morning we were just like go because it is a little bit warmer here in Germany at this time, and so we just wanted to do a lot of the outdoor walking and stuff in the morning, so we're not like drenched in sweat or anything like that. But I did give this a very high 3.5 star rating. I did really enjoy the couple. I thought they were very sweet, despite one being a psychopath and the other one suffering very heavily from PTSD due to betrayal from the FBI and being thrown in a psych ward. I thought that the two of them were very compatible. Once again, instant lust, instant obsession. So if you're into slow burns, avoid this entire series, because I'm pretty sure that this is going to be kind of a trope that continues on throughout the series. I really did enjoy August. August is the psychopath in this series. He also has autism, so he struggles a little bit more than his brothers in mimicking and interpreting people's behavior and, you know, providing the correct response to that. So he was always kind of considered a weirdo, and really found a safe and accepting place with his partner Lucas. And Lucas, of course, was also kind of seen as an outsider due to his kind of psychic clairvoyant abilities, and once again found a safe space with August. So really great characters, and I love their romance. The smut was really fun because Lucas uses his abilities, and he can kind of, when he touches someone, he can feel what they're feeling, both in the present and in the past, which the author took advantage of during their sex scenes, where Lucas kind of was able to feel what August was feeling while also feeling what he was feeling. So that was an interesting scenario, a lot of fun with that. Once again, I will say that the ending, kind of the climactic take down the villain scenes, was a little rushed, a little anticlimactic, just like it was in the first book. These books are definitely focused on the romance, and the plot is just kind of to move the story along and to give our characters a reason to come together, work together, protect each other kind of situation. I feel like I didn't connect to the story as much as I did the first book, but that may also just be because this theme of psychopaths falling in love is just not as new and shiny as it was in book 1, and that's totally fine. I will be continuing this series. As far as my next read, I'm actually going to read a book off of KU now. I do have 2 physical books and I really want to get to those while I'm on my trip, but I did pay like $12 for KU and I haven't used it so far because, you know, Psycho was not on KU anymore. But I am going to pick up this novella, The Basilisk of Star Manor by Kathryn Moon. This is part of her Tempting Monsters series. I feel like I tried to read this a few months ago and it was not available on KU. It was only part of like a anthology of like monster romance kind of situation, but it's available now. I found it, so I'm gonna read it. It's only 120 pages, so fingers crossed that I can get it done relatively quickly. I think now that I'm getting a little bit more used to this time zone, I can stay up a little bit later and actually do some reading. I don't know too much about what the story is about, just because it is a novella, so I want to stay relatively blind. I want to stay relatively in the dark with this book. Now, I'm not sure if the character is actually blind or if they just wear a mask or a blindfold at all times, because I think a basilisk, if they look at you, you like die or something like that. I also think that this one isn't harem related. I think this might just be a one-on-one situation. I have read the first 2 books, full-length novels in the series, and really enjoyed them. This is my first time reading a Kathryn Moon book that isn't a reverse harem and doesn't have a main female character, so we will see how I feel about that. A little bit about how my trip is going. So far it is going relatively well. We're currently in Ashafenburg. We're staying at a place called like the Golden Ox or something like that, and we are leaving today for Frankfurt to spend some time with my step grandma. We have been here in Ashafenburg with my biological grandma, and we will probably return here the last couple days, I believe on the 30th, and then we leave on the 2nd, and my grandma, fingers crossed, will be coming home with us. Unfortunately, a few weeks ago she ended up tripping and falling and breaking her shoulder, and has been kind of like, you know, like when it rains it pours kind of situation. She like a couple days ago developed a really bad cold, and she does struggle to fight those, so she is taking some medication. Hopefully by the time we are ready to head back to America, she is ready to head back with us. Otherwise we may need to postpone that trip, but that is the plan for now. The first day we were here, we kind of stayed in Ashafenburg, as you may have seen. We went to visit the Johannesburg Castle. Am I just making up that word? I don't even remember. I'm so bad at remembering the name of places that I've been, even if I was just there yesterday. So that's why I will never be a travel vlogger, because I'll be like, I was somewhere yesterday, I don't remember where. But that's what we kind of did the first day, and then yesterday we went to Rottenburg, which was about a little over an hour and a half away, which was really nice to kind of just drive through the German countryside. Germany's set up where there's a lot of green space, like a lot, which is saying something because I'm from the Northwest. So Washington is kind of known as the evergreen state, so I'm used to greenery, but there's a lot here, a lot of open fields, a lot of forested areas, because Germany's kind of set up into like small little clusters, little villages, with the occasional larger town such as like Frankfurt kind of situation, but it's always just really beautiful to drive through. They have a lot of windmills, a lot of what are they called, solar panel farms as well. The amount of people that have solar panels on their roof is astounding. Like, I don't know what kind of deal Germany gives people for getting solar panels, but it's gonna be really good, because I don't think things are relatively expensive in Germany to a certain degree because it is such a small country. But a lot of people, like even in like small secluded villages, like a whole roof of solar panels. So they're pretty good when it comes to being green. But Rothenburg was really beautiful. It's a very old village surrounded by a wall. It's a defense wall, and you can kind of walk up into the wall and just walk the perimeter of the village. You can also walk up into one of the towers, which you'll have seen the view from that. It would have been kind of that bird's eye view. Really beautiful. The weather was really great. In the morning it was a little bit cool, but towards the middle of the day we were starting to be very thankful for the slightly cooler weather, because when you're walking around in the streets all day, it's definitely nice for it not to be like 80 degrees or something like that. But yeah, no, that was really beautiful. The church was exquisite. I have a great love for stained glass. I do also like, you know, older churches. I myself am not part of the church, but I have a great appreciation for their architecture, and sometimes I do feel a sense of calmness in them. I don't agree with a lot of what people who are religious say, at least the more fanatical side or the more conservative side of it, but I do definitely see how people can find a lot of comfort within those churches and within the religion. So that was a really great experience. Really glad we went there. Like I said, today we're heading to Frankfurt, which is a larger town. My step grandma does live slightly outside of town, so we're not going to be like in the city, which is totally fine with me because I'm not a big city girl. But I will go ahead and keep you up to date, and then I will of course check in with you guys later tonight to finish up this vlog, and then starting Saturday through next Friday will be the week 2 vlog. I totally forgot to tell you guys, there is a news story that is going around Germany right now, that there is hello, I don't know why that just turned up. A lioness is loose in Berlin, and like for the last 2 days, that's all the news has been talking about, which would never happen in America. There's too many bad things happening in America for them to be talking about lionesses loose in the city. But it was just so funny that they were like, we don't know where this lioness came from, but like keep your kids inside. The village hunter and the veterinarian and the police are looking for her, and we're gonna try and get her, you know, alive, and just see what we need to do with this lion that's just killed a wild pig apparently in town, and is now out and about in the village. So I just want to share that because I thought it was like a really fun story that is going on right now, and hopefully they catch her and can do so safely and humanely. Hey guys, so I'm at my grandma's house. I just wanted to check in and correct an assumption that I made earlier. I just finished chapter 2 of the book. I'm 15% through it, but only like 22 pages in, so I don't really have anything to say about it. But I had been wondering if the male love interest was vision impaired. He is not. He just wears a blindfold because he is a basilisk, and if normal people look him into the eyes, they die. However, the female love interest, I want to say her name is like Lillian or something, is blind. So this book does have blind representation, but it is the female character, not the male. But I just wanted to jump in real quick and this is where me and my mom will be sleeping while at my step grandma's. At least I get to be surrounded by books again, though not ones that I can read. So this is a little sneak at her beautiful apartment. She does own the apartment building, and I'll go ahead and show a little picture of that once I get outside, because we're gonna go outside and do some grocery shopping. But this is the view. This pinkish building next to her isn't hers, just this white building here belongs to her. So she lives on the 3rd floor, which is where I had to carry those very heavy suitcases up. Just remember that when you guys go to Europe. They don't have a lot of elevators, so pack light. So it is Saturday, I believe. So I'm just wrapping up this vlog since I'm starting a new vlog today as well. So the start of next vlog, you're just gonna see me right here in the same place, looking exactly the same. That's just the way it happened. Last night I decided to do a little bit of reading before I went to bed because I hadn't read anything throughout the day because we were traveling and hanging out with my step grandma and kind of just walking around the market and things like that. But I also didn't want to like do an update where I have literally not read anything else since I last checked in with you. So where we are with the Basilisk of Star Manor is that we're at about 38%, at page 48 at this point, chapter 5. I'm not sure where I'm feeling on this rating wise. I would say right now it's kind of sitting at like a 3.5, which for a novella isn't too terrible because I am not a huge short story girly, and I'm just struggling to connect with the characters, especially the female character. However, up until this point, the first 4 chapters were all in Marius' point of view, and that's the male character, and I did see that chapter 5 was now from Lillian's perspective. So sometimes you don't like a character as much when you're not reading from their perspective, and maybe now that I am getting to know a little bit more about her, I'll get to be a bit more empathetic towards her kind of standoffish, almost snooty behavior, which has kind of been turning me off from her. One thing I will say is that Kathryn Moon really knows how to write a sex scene. I really enjoyed their first sex scene together, despite not loving the character. So I think that really speaks to how well Kathryn Moon can write these scenes. So I'm just gonna go ahead and continue on with this. I don't have too much else to say about this book at this time, and I really don't want to say too much about it anyway since it's only 120 pages. Hopefully I make a little bit more progress today. I really have not been reading a lot on this trip, but you know, I'm in another country. I can read at home all the time, so it is what it is. But I just want to go ahead and wrap up this first week of my vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Next week's vlog, we'll go ahead and start with today. We are going to explore Frankfurt. We're gonna head to the other side of the river and just walk around town a little. I'm hoping to check out a bookstore that my step grandma suggested. It's a rather large one apparently, and so has sections with multiple languages. I'm hoping to get like a souvenir book kind of situation. And yeah, we'll just enjoy the views, so make sure you stick around to check out that vlog. Hopefully a lot more fun travel stuff is going to continue to happen. As always, guys, thank you so much for supporting my channel by watching my videos, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.